What's up guys, in this video we're going to talk about Empoleon, using some clips from its official trailer and some clips from Kuro Kuro playing him in the Japanese arcades. We're also going to do a little discussion on some rumors about if Season 2 is happening, when the DLC is coming, and all of that. So without further ado, let's get started. So first off, the range and speed of this move, which I think is Aqua Jet, is pretty nuts, and it seems to have some sort of follow-up attack after it. This aerial ice move is pretty interesting, as we see it affect his momentum in both this clips and later clips. For instance, in this one the ice seems to both improve his forward dash and dual phase, as well as give him forward slide momentum after his dash that could open up more combo strings. And in this one, it seems to give his sideway and field extra slide momentum and some extra distance. Here, Blaziken appears to already be in a crumple state before he's hit with Rock Smash, and this initial Rock Smash combos into a follow-up after the actual Rock Summon itself hits the opponents. That's pretty interesting as like a decent range to hit someone with that and then combo into the follow-up. We also see that a Blaziken gets a debuff when he's hit, and with this clip from Kuro's stream, we actually realize that it's a defense down debuff, which makes sense because if the move is Rock Smash, it has a 50% chance to lower the opponent's defense in Pokemon. Some other clips from his stream, we also see that on a whiff, it does the whole animation after it, so it seems like if he whiffs, he's pretty open, in field phase at least, because we see also in a clip that in dual phase, or in general, after he does this, it actually sends out rock projectiles in front of him, so at a distance in dual phase, it seems like it could be decently safe with those projectiles to like cover you, but it seems like they do little hit stuns, so we'll have to see how that works out. Alright, so this attack looks kind of annoying. On hit, it leaves the opponent in like a standing stagger state, and then afterward he follows up into what I think is a forward heavy attack, and then appears to be special cancelable, as then he goes into surf afterwards, but that move looks just annoying to deal with. The fact that he can hit you with this move and you're now like an extended hit stun basically, and he can do whatever he wants. That's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. My guess are these two clips, so these are two of his anti-airs. Probably the first one's up Y, I'd imagine. The second one is up X. The one I think is up X looks really annoying to deal with if you're in the air, but it looks like a move that if you bait him to do that, he should be punishable afterwards, so well, let's see how that plays out. I just thought it was interesting in this clip that Blaziken is doing a high stance before this move actually hits him. It's almost like this was a hint from Bandai Namco for a certain someone. But anyway, onto the move itself. It seems like it's a hitbox around himself, and it also sends a couple of water bubbles out to hit at a distance. So it's interesting to have a move that you can also use up close and far away, and I believe this is his jump Y, I think anyway. So this is a move that appears to be Ice Beam, where he doesn't attack but lays out a line of ice that he can use ice momentum with. For example, here he dodges Charizard's jump projectile in field phase and then punishes him with I think is jump A, because it seems like he jumps and then does an attack rather than just like going straight into attack while doing that dash. I also want to touch on how important it is for him that he actually has a move that can set up ice while he's on the ground, because he was locked into having to jump to set up his ice. That could have been pretty bad because a lot of Pokemon and Pokken are very good at anti-airing. So if you're forced a situation where you have to jump to do something, it's normally not the best for you. So the fact that he can both set this up from a distance and just in general have a way to do this that doesn't put him in the air is also really good. Next, we see when Ice Beam hits an opponent, it puts him into like this frozen staggered state, and afterwards we see him use what I think is his version of Hydro Pump, but a different way how we see it used earlier. So earlier when he used it, he like fired it forward in field phase and slid backwards, but in this one in dual phase he dashes forward, turns himself around, and then uses Hydro Pump to repel himself into the opponent. So I wonder if this is like a phase exclusive way to use Hydro Pump, or if he can decide which way he wants it to go in both phases. And also note in this clip, it looks like Ice Beam hits low, so it should possibly be able to be low stance unless it armor pierces, which doesn't seem like it does, but there's some moves that armor pierce that don't seem like they should, so you never know in Pokken. Hey, this appears to be Aqua Jet, but there's a lot of extra hits and have a completely different ending, so maybe this is what Aqua Jet looks like if you don't cancel it, or if you like charge it in some way, but I'm not fully sure, and I'm still kind of guessing on this one, but that's just what I think currently. The last clip I have from his official trailer is that of his burst attack. Now this is interesting as it seems like this is a command grab, similar to Gengar and Mewtwo's, so it should have invincibility on startup, and it only hits on the ground. So if you're a character fighting him, you kind of want to put yourself in the air, so use a move like Blaziken's EX Brave Bird, which puts him in the air frame 1. Command grab bursts are currently also the strongest in the game, so it'll be interesting to see how much damage his does compared to other ones. Actually looking at this clip from Kuro's stream, his burst doesn't seem to have invincibility on startup. because he gets hit out of it by Darkrai. Now this would be extremely bad for him, because the whole point of like the command grab burst is the fact that when they have it, you now need to respect them when they're in burst, because they basically can just win a situation. They think you're just going to press a button randomly, they can just pop burst and just grab you. But him not having that seems really, really bad for his burst attack. I guess since he's standard and the two other command grab bursts are both technical, it kind of makes sense that it's not, but also it'd be bad to have a command grab burst that you can get crit out of if you pop it and they just press a button. So it seems really weird. So I'll have to see if if anything, I can see this getting changed from the arcades, because it seems like this would be pretty bad for him, honestly. First little thing directly from Kuro Kuro's stream is that we see here that Empoleon is confirmed to be standard style, which fits because Scizor is power, Darkrai is technical, Kuro is speed, so by process of elimination he's probably gonna be standard, and it would fit the way Empoleon probably would be in this kind of game. It's also nice to finally see the complete character select screen in Pokken after all this time of having those holes there for whatever reason. Yeah, we see the aerial ice attack again here, and it hits Lucario 2 times, but I think they both seem to be grounded hits. The next clip with Shandy kind of confirms this to me, because the CPU Shandy on reaction to him doing the move in the air, high stances, and it just avoids it entirely. So I was trying to figure out through other clips if this move actually has a hitbox on himself, like at all, but I didn't really see it, because Shandy's Jump X, for instance, has a hitbox on Shandy as he comes down, and the grounded hit. So you can low stance that grounded hit, but you can't low stance actually Shandy coming down, he'll hit you. But on the flip side, Garchomp, Shadow, Mewtwo don't. Like when they do Earthquake, they just hit on the ground. So this seems more like an Earthquake kind of move than Shandy's Jump X. Next we see that his full counterattack in field leaves the opponent in a standing position when it shifts to dual phase. So I wonder if he could trap them with like Ice Beam or Rock Smash from that range. They seem far enough away where they can't really hit him, but he could like use one of his range moves to hit them from a distance and then set up off of that kind of stuff. And then next we see that his counterattack in dual phase actually puts him to a crumble state, so he can follow up after his counter. So I'm trying to think through what the counterplay to his counter is, kind of thing. Or like Blaziken when he's not in burst, and Machamp you can go low and avoid it. And versus Pika and Braixen, if you jump in the air and don't press a button, just like neutral jump or like air dash, they'll miss you. So kind of stuff like that. Okay, this one shows off a different side Y, that someone's like 3 ways to go out into a cone. So I'm kind of wondering what the other move was. This one more looks like a side Y to me, so it's kind of interesting. And next we see his burst attack, which the range of this move is nuts. Like if that's an active grab hitbox throughout that entire circle, then this move would be much better in field phase, where this one would be way harder to avoid than in dual phase, where you kind of only have to deal with the front of it. But like in field phase, that giant circle, you need to avoid the entire thing. You gotta have a move in field phase puts you in the air, so Blaziken can still Brave Bird. But in general, like that looks a lot harder to deal with. This shows off his Jump A in field phase, which I suppose would be stealing or something similar to that, but it's a pretty large hitbox and seems to come out pretty decently fast. Also, his grab damage seems to be pretty poor, like Blaziken's. As Shandy and him are both in rage, and his grab fails to kill Shandy from like 96 HP. It seems like it did like 85 damage, so that's not looking amazing for him right now. Okay, Empoleon does a move where he slides on his stomach, which also puts an ice line in front of him, so that's pretty nice to have another way to set up ice. We also see this later, and it causes Weavile to do an air spin into a hard knockdown after it hits. So again, it's nice to get some other moves that set up ice, so this one seems like it only sets it up for this one attack, but pretty interesting hit, and this definitely looks like a low, so that'll be interesting. Okay, in this clip, he punishes Weavile's Fury, swipes on his block with Aqua Jet into Rock Smash, so it makes you think like the end of Aqua Jet, you can mix in a bunch of different options to try and hit the opponent at the range it sets them, because it seemed like it put Weavile a decent range away from that. Weavile got hit by the summon of Rock, like the Rock on Rock Smash. Although like it did seem to combo, as the Weavile seemed like he was inputting a grab there, as you see like the little green flash, but even still, like the range it is could be really good to trap the opponent or be really good block pressure. Also, the next clip, the range and speed of Aqua Jet is just absurd. To see this giant character flying across half of a tiny stage that fast is pretty ridiculous, honestly. We see his side YY follow-up, so it's probably forward Y just by itself. In this clip, though, none of these moves are doing any chip damage, but they still take up a decent range on the field. It just seems really weird that his projectiles on field phase aren't really doing anything to the opponent's health. Probably affecting shield, obviously, but you can't really chip someone down with them in that sense. Also, we see for a bit that he has an aerial like anti-air, which will help him in a bunch of different like matchups in field phase. Just hit that up if you think the opponent's going to jump. Also, I believe he has it in dual phase as well. And Ice Beam goes full screen because why not, I guess. Alright, so this one is not about Empoleon for a second, but Scissor's aerial Sword Stance follow-up has a giant side hitbox, or he can like direct the way he's going with it, but that looks absurd itself. But then you see Empoleon's field phase grab, which also is like pretty low damage, so definitely feeling like Blaziken from his grabs at least. It's pretty sad. As a final note, the ice dash he gets seem to be limited to the size of the ice he creates itself. It's like here you see the imposing Empoleon tries to like dash back after doing a jump ice attack, but he's like almost basically just dashes in place because he's at the edge of the ice and can't keep dashing. And then later we see that if Empoleon dashes and then hits a wall, he like bounces off of it and leaves himself open. So that's pretty interesting that like if you avoid him in the air somehow, you can get a follow-up, or you can just punish the fact that he missed and hits the wall and bounces back. And that's all the clips I have for Empoleon for the time being. Just kind of a summary. His dashes seem pretty mediocre without having his ice set up. He seems to only have the normal counter attack and definitely pretty mediocre grabs. So in a way, I see him kind of, to me at least, as a mix between Blaziken and Suicune almost, which kind of makes sense for what kind of Pokemon he is. So it's pretty interesting. But definitely go check out Kuro Kuro's full video showing off Empoleon as well as Scizor and Darkrai and just full gameplay rather than just a couple clips I have here. So link to that's in the description, and there'll also be a card for mobile users in the top corner. Alright, now to wrap up the video, we're going to do a discussion on the possibility of Season 2. So for a while, we've just been sitting around hoping and waiting. We've also been waiting for the DLC characters for a long time now, with basically radio silence from everyone for some reason, which seems really odd because it's not really helping Pokken itself right now. Seeing all this cool stuff, but you can't actually play it. But this popped up my feed from Wizards, and it's a tweet from Plague, who is a UK Pokken and TCG player, I believe, and he went to the regional that happened in EU. I think it was in Germany, I don't remember where, sorry. But the regional that happened in EU, he went to it and then asked the TO there about Pokken coming back to VGC, and the TO said that it won't happen until DLC comes out, and that DLC is being worked on. So in two ways, already confirms what we probably should know by now. They are working on the DLC for the consoles, so we get some confirmation of that is happening, and we get confirmation that Season 2 is likely to happen when the DLC is out. Now, when we think about when Season 1 started, Season 1 started in May, so we're going in January soon. There's a lot of time to have Season 2 start up and run through. Now, where Pokken will be in terms of EVO and all that stuff, we don't know. We'll probably get the EVO announcement this month, if not in January, so we'll see about that pretty soon. But definitely good news to know that Pokken is, like, Season 2 is on the minds of the people running Pokemon tournaments at the moment, and the fact that DLC is also being worked on. So good to finally get something about this, even if it's basically just a rumor at this point, and just word of mouth kind of stuff, but it's better than nothing, obviously. As a final note, this weekend it's NEC, which has a lot of US talent, some European talent is coming, and even some Japanese players is coming. Like Kinoko's first time, I hope I didn't say his name wrong in the video. Maybe I did. His first time coming to America is Pikachu Libre main, so I'm really excited to see how he'll play, because that's going to be really interesting to see. There's going to be a new USA versus Japan crew battle. I think it's Saturday at 9. I don't think it's going to be streamed, but someone will probably record it and it'll be up somewhere, so it'll be interesting to see for you guys to catch when it happens. But definitely looking forward to that. I'm going myself, entering both Pokken and Smash 4, so if you're going to be there, see me, say hello. If you know what I look like. If not, I'm a mystery to everyone, apparently. It still amazes me that the top search when you type in my name and don't finish it is face cam and face on YouTube for whatever reason. But yeah, but if you see me, definitely say hello. Gonna have fun. I'm excited for both pools for that game. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video and hope to catch you guys next time.